race fans, and welcome back to the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series here every Monday night. Today we made our way out to the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway, and it's going to be another good one around the high banking hot surface here in Florida. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action Sandy P 60 frames a second on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you to all to our fans, friends, and family tuning in, supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as supporting the broadcast. Looks like it's a little bit interesting as we are running an open qualifying here today. Something we historically don't see on a Monday night. And right now it's Jeff Radke in the top spot. And the number 51 machine, Eric Parks, currently second. Dalton McKinney sitting in third. Going to be interesting to see how the draft lottery comes into play. As we get things ready to fire off here. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor, and if they don't, they just about always go back and watch it over again. Don McKinney still out on track in the 46 machine, trying to squeeze out another 0.03 of a second away from Jeff Radke. Looks like he's picking up a draft, but not going to have enough time as qualifying comes to a close. So I believe Radke is going to hold on to the top spot here in the number 51 Toyota Tundra. And yes, McKinney comes down pit road, so that's going to get us set up and ready to go for qualifying. McKinney, a little bit of fun action there to round down the qualifying session. So waiting on a few drivers to make their way around as the checkered flag is out. You can see Barney, our flagman, telling drivers that the qualifying session is done and over with. Like just one driver's left. Here comes Eddie Hawks. Going to finish up his qualifying run. He's currently in P15, that number 45 Chevrolet. And let's get ready for action here at Homestead. Drivers making their way out onto the grid. And speaking of grid, let's run through today's starting order. Starting on pole, Jeff Radke in the number 5 machine. Dalton McKinney starting second. Eric Parks starting third. Ron Fascinato starts fourth. John Mullihan starting fifth. Ryan Strunk starts sixth. Jay Dorger starting 7th. Derek Fulton starting 8th. Corey Stahl starting 9th. Wally Babb starts 10th. Jeremy Paris starting 11th. James Kaufman starting 12th. Cycling it back to Jordan Darnell. He's starting 13th. Chad Ross starts 14th. Eddie Hawks starting 15th. William Price starts 16th. Stephen Page starting 17th. Chris Luttrell starts 18th. Mark McFadden starting 19th. Jeremy Osborne starting 20th. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. will round out the 21 truck grid here today. And it looks like the fans are starting to show up. We've got Chris Papke, hope I said that right, from Birmingham, Alabama, cheering on the number 20 Motor City Lions truck. Big fan of Birmingham. The Sport Bike Series was just there. Guerra was there for the Grand National Finals this past weekend in Birmingham. Waiting on a few more drivers to make their way out onto the grid. And we will be ready to go here. 135 laps. Drivers rolling out from pit road. It's going to be Radke Parks, your front row. McKinney, Fascinato, your second row. Strunk and Mullahan will be your third row. We're running 135 laps, 0 fast repair, 17 maximum incident points, 5 green-white checker attempts, and 65% fuel allotment for these drivers. Pace car may be coming down pit road this time by. Yes, pace car is in. There's Barney, our flagman, getting ready. And the green flag will fly here at Homestead Miami Speedway for the FEG PC and NASCAR Oval Series. Already seeing some drivers trying to make some moves. Jeff Radke holds on to the race lead. Dalton McKinney second. Look at this, Ryan Strunk right there in the mix-up, and then number 77 machine, he's up 2 spots early on. You can see Ron Fascinato 69 machine on the outside line. John Mullahan's number 6 machine. Ooh, Fascinato going way up towards the wall there. Looks like he's trying to follow along with Eric Parks in the 73 machine. Drivers trying to jockey for position. Mullahan's trying to see if he can slot up ahead of Fascinato. No such luck as we see Ryan Strunk continue his charge in the 77 machine. Now up 3 positions as he makes his way up into third. A little bit further back. Looks like a bit of a meat grinder there. Focusing on Jeremy Paris in the number 24 machine. He's alongside, I believe that's going to be James Kaufman in the 41. We've also got Chad Ross, Jordan Darnell, William Price, Stephen Page all in the fray here. You can see the number 66 machine of Corey Stahl just ahead of that 12th place and back battle. Ryan Strunk sitting third, clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 33.41. And things are very busy now as Chad Ross trying to work around Kaufman. Looks like he's going to make it happen right behind Jordan Darnell's number 15 machine. You can see Stephen Page, William Price battling for 15th. Chris Luttrell also in the fray here. Everybody trying to make something happen. A very busy racetrack as they cross the start-finish line, only 4 laps into this main event. I've got to say, really liking the look of Jordan Darnell's number 15 Chevrolet, the Batman-sponsored Chevrolet. Very clean-looking truck out there, and he's going to work alongside James Kaufman. Kaufman getting a push from Stephen Page's number 1 machine. Just ahead of them, that is Jeremy Paris and Chad Ross. A little bit further back, there's Ken McCullough Jr. He's sitting 19th, up 2 spots. McCullough tends to play it safe early on in several of these races, watching what the other drivers are going to do ahead of him and seeing who may go home early with a wadded up race truck. Chris Luttrell, William Price having a battle for 16th. Still 21 drivers out on track. Something must have happened to Jeremy Osborne, number 20 machine, as he has fallen back away from the field. And look at the 3-wide action. Chris Luttrell in the middle of Eddie Hawks and William Price. Price up high, carrying a little bit more corner speed than the 45 of Eddie Hawks. And this is just the battle for 15th, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as they're frantically battling, they are losing time to James Kaufman in 14th. We've also got a report that Mark McFadden has made a move on Jordan Darnell. Darnell also having some sort of issues. He's down 7 positions. And we've got a battle for the lead underway. Dalton McKinney, Jeff Radke side by side. Here comes the number 77 machine of Ryan Strunk. A massive charge down the backstretch. We go 3 wide. Strunk all the way down low. It's Strunk down low. McKinney in the middle. Radke up high. 3 wide around the high banks of Homestead. Still 3 wide. No driver's able to make any mistake here at the line. It's McKinney, then Radke takes it back over. Strunk still way down low. Looks like McKinney's going to back out of it slightly. Strunk takes over the race lead. Radke still up high. Strunk in the number 77 machine. That is his 5th spot gain so far here this evening. But Jeff Radke's not going to make it easy as he dives back to the inside line into turn 3 behind them. Mullahan, McKinney side by side for 3rd. You can also see Eric Parks in the 73 machine. He's down 2 spots, but with these drivers going too wide and 2 rows deep ahead of him, he knows they're not going to pull too much of a gap, pushing a massive hole in the air, allowing that 73 machine to close the distance at will. Ryan Strunk holds on the race lead. McKinney with a big run down the outside. He's got Radke, the blue with yellow number 51, the inside line. McKinney, the purple and yellow 46 machine up on the high side. Strunk holds on to the race lead starting lap 10. Now very interesting. Radke's still staying committed to that bottom groove as Strunk and McKinney seem to be running a mid to high line here at Homestead. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays into the tire saving game as now Dalton McKinney hungry for the race lead. Looked like Radke may have just barely touched the outside wall there. Oh, Strunk gets McKinney back at the line. The 46 machine trying to get a lap lead. Go through 1 and 2. McKinney able to make a pass, slotting up in front of Strunk in the 77. But Strunk is not having any of it. He immediately fires back a big run, looks to the inside through turns 3 and 4. He's going to get the lead back under control. Don Mullahan sitting in 3rd in the fluorescent green number 6 machine. So watch this. McKinney hugging the apron. Strunk going up towards the wall and carrying a little bit more speed. Look at the run from the 77. McKinney not throwing any sort of blocks. It's way too early in this main event to try and risk the truck. Strunk holds on to the race lead. Drivers behind, Mullahan, Parks, Radke. Rounding out the top 5, still closing the gap. They're about 3/10 off the back of McKinney and Strunk, who keep swapping back and forth here. Let's go a little bit further back. Corey Stahl takes a spot away from Chad Ross. Ross is up 3 positions, Stahl down 1. We've also got Jeremy Paris in the fray in that number 24 machine. Up a little bit further ahead, Derek Fulton, the 07, takes over the 5th place spot. Edging out Parks. Parks going to try and fire back on the inside. This is the battle for 5th. Who's it going to be? It looks like Fulton on the outside. Can he carry a little bit more speed through 1 and 2? And look at that, Fulton, a massive lunge down the back stretch, pulling just about a truck length over Eric Parks. Let's see if Parks is going to go low into turn 3 and try and return the favor. Great side-by-side racing all across the track. Currently watching Derek Fulton, Eric Parks side-by-side for 5th. Neither driver able to get away from each other. And the same story is being told all across the track here. If we go back to Jeremy Paris and Chad Ross, You can also see Wally Babb, Corey Stahl, and a hint of Jay Dargert's 57 machine. Oh, look at the big run from both Ross and Paris. Looked like Paris got a little bit loose there out of turn 4. And there's Wally Babb's 99 machine. Looking at the inside line, that's got to be none other than fan favorite Jay Dargert in the 57. Ooh, Dargert, a bit of a hiccup there in the 1 and 2, has to check up. Stahl works the inside line. Here comes a freight train with Chad Ross, Jeremy Paris running 11th and 12th. Everybody's trying to get just inside that top 10. Two wide and 2 rows deep in the battle for 9th. Dargert holding on to it here just ahead of Stahl, Ross, and Paris. That is a lot of heavy hitters we normally see up towards the front by the time it is all said and done at these main events. Now, Dalton McKinney still your race leader. John Mullahan, Ryan Strunk round out the top 3. Jeff Radke, Derek Fulton rounding out the top 5. All eyes right now on Jay Dargert sitting 9th in the number 57 Chevrolet. Dargert goes up high. Ross peeks the inside line. Look at that, Corey Stahl. Gonna try and make it a 2-for-1 against Dargert. Dargert not quite with the momentum he's looking for. And I think we're going to see Stahl in the 66 machine challenge back down the inside line through 3 and 4. Here as well comes the number 24 machine of Jeremy Paris. Paris has to back slightly off of the throttle to avoid getting into Dargert. Dargert, not sure there's a little bit of contact there between Paris and Dargert, but Dargert 100% tagged that outside wall. And what's going on up front? Here comes John Mullahan, challenging Dalton McKinney for the race lead. It's the fluorescent green number 6 machine against the purple and yellow 46. McKinney up against the outside wall. You can also see Ryan Strunk hugging the wall as well in the 77. "21 laps in, the pace starting to fall off slightly as tire wear becomes a factor for these drivers." Mullahan holds on to the race lead. He's up 4 spots. McKinney currently running exactly where he qualified in 2nd, but they go back and forth once more. Oh, very tight racing here for the lead. Ryan Strunk still sitting in 3rd, watching to see what's going to happen, as well as Jeff Radke's 51. You also just barely see Derek Fulton, Ron Fascinato 5th and 6th. 2 friendly Canadians out on track trying to work in a little bit higher up inside the top 5. Now this is going to get interesting. Is Strunk going to give a push to the 6 of Mullahan? We've got Papke saying it feels like it's about time for a caution. I'm going to be the optimist on this one. I think these guys are doing a great job keeping it clean and tight up towards the front. Your top 4 separated by less than 0.3 of a second. Derek Fulton still in 5th. He lags behind about 0.6 of a second. And we've got great racing just all across the track as Ryan Strunk, John Mullahan battling for the lead. Here is Eric Parks, has made his way around Chad Ross and Wally Babb. Babb falling back ever so slightly in the 99. It looks like Corey Stahl wanting to get a piece of it. And very impressed with how many different leaders we've had up here towards the front. Right now it's back in the favor of Ryan Strunk, who's up 5 spots. Hard charger out on track, though, is Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 machine. He's currently running 14th, up 7 spots after qualifying at the very, very back of the pack. And now we've got a battle for 2nd. Dalton McKinney, John Mullahan. Side by side, coming out the start-finish line straight. The top 6 drivers all within 1 second And if Mullihan and McKinney keep going side by side, that could give a little bit of a break to Ryan Strunk, who has the clean air on the front of that Chevy. And speaking of Chevy, Chevrolet currently running 1, 2, 3 with Strunk, McKinney, and Mullihan. After that, 4th, 5th, 6th, all Toyota Tundras with the likes of Jeff Radke, Derek Fulton, and Rylan Fascinato. Current fastest forward on track is Wally Babb, and 10th, sporting the number 99. So it looks like Mullihan and McKinney starting to close that gap up to Strunk. They're back by about 0.2 of a second. And that's with them working against each other here. Doing them no favors with a draft. McKinney holds on to second, drops down in front of Mullihan. That allows Radke to have a big run, the 51 machine. He's run up against the wall, as well as Derek Fulton. Fascinato running a little bit lower line. Back in 6th in the number 69. A little bit further back, here's Wally Babb, Eric Parks, Jeremy Paris, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And also Pete Corey Stahl, 66 machine, just ahead of this frantic battle for 3rd. And still side by side, up towards the front, it's Ryan Strunk. Leading by about a half a second, Dalton McKinney, John Mullihan, Jeff Radke. Just about in a flying V formation. McKinney getting the slightest breakaway from Radke, but Radke with a massive run. Mullihan goes back to the inside line. The battle for 3rd continues on. Oh, and we're making a battle for the lead as well. Here comes McKinney up the inside line. Going to take over the race lead, getting credit for the lap led in the 46. And now Jeff Radke and John Mullihan trying to fight their way into podium contention. Hinting at 3 wide action once more. McKinney trying to get away from Strunk and Radke, who are side by side. Radke falls back in behind the 2nd place driver. Oh, we're going to hint at 3 wide. Yes, we are. It's Radke down low, Strunk up high, and Dalton McKinney back in the middle. John Mullihan thinks about taking him 4 wide. Very wisely backs out of it there. Strunk holds on to the race lead for a little while longer. We got Threat Level Midnight. Join us on the YouTube side of the broadcast, cheering on the distance drivers out on course. Top 6 drivers separated by less than 3/4 of a second. As Strunk and McKinney continuously going side by side, it would be quicker to name the laps where we haven't been 2 or 3 wide. Nobody inside the top 6 seems to be content following along single file. 2 wide, 2 deep. It's Strunk, McKinney up front, Fulton and Radke making up the 2nd row. It looks like we've got a 3rd row with Mullihan and Fascinato. Radke still running a little bit higher line as we watch Mullihan and Fascinato go down low. As we've got pit stops underway. McKinney, Strunk, Radke, Fascinato, Stahl, Babb, all down pit road together. Your new top 5. Fulton, Mullihan, Ross, Paris, Parks. Opt to stay. Looks like about 12 drivers opting to stay out. We're going to pull up the live timing and scoring time on the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is. Mullihan comes down pit road accompanied by Chad Ross, Jeremy Paris, Eric Parks, Derek Fulton. The 07 opts to stay out as well as William Price. Mark McFadden may also be staying out in the number 5 machine. We're going to see if he comes down pit road this time by. We get confirmation McFadden does come down pit road. We can hear Fulton and Price clutching it in slightly there. And the green flag pit stop's just about underway. Fulton and Price down pit road as Mullahan rolls back out on track. What's going to be Dalton McKinney as your race leader. The 46 machine getting everything wicked up to pace. He's got Ryan Struck, Jeff Radke right behind. Did a bit of a breakaway from John Mullahan, which is a bit odd. Mullahan shows as a two-tire stop. McKinney and Strunk side by side, getting ready to catch up to Derek Fulton. There's Fulton down on the apron, getting up to speed. Jeff Radke, Derek Fulton, Rylan Fascinato, your top five. But now it's a bit of a three-truck breakaway with Strunk, McKinney, and Radke. They're about 1 second ahead of Derek Fulton. Again, Fulton on that two-tire pit stop strategy. A little bit further back. Jeremy Paris has worked his way up into 7th. Chad Ross up 8 spots in 6th. We've got Corey Stahl, John Mullahan side by side, the battle for 8th. Your race leader Ryan Strunk sets the fastest lap of the night, a 33.2. We've also got Wally Babb, Eric Park side by side. Great racing all across the track. Looks like we have just 2 drivers who are 1 lap down. As Fulton and Fascinato having a Team Canada fight back here in 4th. They're about 1.5 seconds back from 3rd place runner Dalton McKinney. 1.5 seconds ahead of 6th place Chad Ross. Rapke asking what's going on with Jeremy Osborne. Not entirely sure. That number 20 machine has been down pit road once on lap 31. Looking at the pit lane times, I believe it's safe to say he took 4 fresh tires underneath them. But just not having the run he was necessarily looking for. He's one of those 2 drivers down a lap. Going a little bit further back. You also got a battle for 15th underway. Chris Luttrell, Jordan Darnell, William Price. Our Charger out on track, still Kenneth McCullough Jr. He has been the first driver to take 10 positions so far tonight. But you can count on Eric Parks is not going to make it easy for him. Parks and McCullough side by side just ahead. You saw Jeremy Paris, Wally Babb also side by side. Chad Ross, Corey Stahl have a battle for 6th. Oh, and up front, we also have a battle for the lead going on. Jeff Radke, Ryan Strunk, and Dalton McKinney separated by 0.3 of a second. Radke, your race leader, McKinney and Strunk taking very different line. McKinney way down low, Strunk up high, but look at the momentum out of that number 77 machine. Quickly pulling a truck length on the 46 of McKinney. And Radke able to pull about a 0.4 of a second advantage there. Once he has clean air on the front of that 51. McKinney another big move up the inside line against Strunk. Radke and McKinney currently running exactly where they qualified, 1st and 2nd. Ryan Strunk is up 3 spots. Our Chargers still Kenneth McCullough Jr. up 10 positions. Wondering if we're going to see Strunk and McKinney maybe work together a little bit here. As Radke holds on to it. Now, it looks like Radke's in a good spot to be here. 0.4 of a second ahead of McKinney and Strunk. Clean air ahead of him. And it seems McKinney and Strunk have calmed down a little bit as well. Back a little bit further back in the field, Kenneth McCullough Jr. still up 10 spots. He's a 1/4 of a second ahead of Eric Parks. The field looks like they're calming down ever so slightly. Now, as I say that, it looks like Radke having the distance, no pun intended, closed by Dalton McKinney. It is now down to about 0.3 of a second. Oh, we got something else going on. Eric Parks challenging back to the hard charger, Kenneth McCullough Jr. Both drivers on a 2-tire stop here. Not expecting the fuel winner to close for another 15 laps or so if these drivers stay true to form. And McCullough not willing to give it up to Parks, holding on steady, gliding up in front of that 73 machine, and right behind them, here's Stephen Page, Chris Luttrell having their own battle for 13th. Jordan Darnell's number 15 machine also in hot pursuit, and we could just see Eddie Hawks in the 45 machine behind. Fantastic side-by-side racing all across the track here. Stephen Page, Jordan Darnell side-by-side. Chris Luttrell pulls ahead just ahead of them. Eric Parks, Kenneth McCullough Jr. still side-by-side, each one looking for any opening they can possibly find. Man, these guys are going at it. McCullough trying a little bit different line, running much, much higher here. Looks like Park's starting to pull away, going a little bit further ahead. A 3-truck battle for 8th. It's Chad Ross, Jeremy Parrish, John Mullahan separated by about a half second. Mullahan having a rough go here. Qualified in 5th, has dropped now back to 10th. So I'm wondering if that's maybe a tire decision, a call. And look at that. Speaking of Mullahan, though, rapidly closing the gap all the way to the back of Jeremy Parris. The gap between these three now less than 0.3 of a second. Parris holding on, fending off Chad Ross as they're side by side down the backstretch. John Mullahan looking for any opening he can find. As this is going on up front, Dalton McKinney has closed the gap once more to Jeff Radke's 51 machine. We know Radke is extremely good at making that Toyota about 3 lanes wide. As I say 3 wide, it is willed into existence. Ross, Mullahan, Parris putting on a show back in 8th. Mullahan away down the inside line. Parris in the middle. Chad Ross in the 38 Special ripping the high line here at Homestead. Ross gets clear of the other 2 drivers. Parris and Mullahan still side by side. Mullahan's going to be set up for the inside line, diving into turn 3. Ross holds on to 8th. Mullahan and Parris still trying to figure out who's going to hold on to that 9th place spot. Good news is Parris is inside the top 10, a good points position to be in. And let's pan the camera back up front as Jeff Radke, Dalton McKinney still having a show for first. And a little bit of track to contend with. It looks like that may be William Price, I think, number 34 machine. Just ahead of your race leaders. Radke and McKinney, who are linked up by about 0.2 of a second, separating the 2. Right now, drivers still staying relatively calm. Radke goes to the high line to try and put William Price a lap down here. Looks like McKinney's going to follow suit. Race leader able to get through traffic nice and easy. As this is going on, we still have a battle for 4th underway. Ryan Strunk, Corey Stahl, both crossing over each other. Behind them is Fulton and Babb, also having a 2-truck battle for 6th. William Price in the number 34 comes down pit road for a green flag pit stop. Oh, up front. Radke and McKinney still going at it here. Radke able to hold on to it. McKinney's going to have to build some momentum back up to make that pass, or at least attempt it once more. Just great racing all across the track. Oh, and this is a good development. Sally Hammond letting us know. Mark McFadden, the number 5 machine, running 19th. Racing with one hand. Had surgery 2 days ago on 2 fingers, but still able to get back out on track. Well done to McFadden. We'll get the camera pointed at him in a moment, as Radke and McKinney continuously having a battle for the lead here. Looks like McKinney may have it going into turn 3, but no, look at the huge run out of Jeff Radke. McKinney fires back down the inside line. There's James Kaufman just ahead of this battle for the lead, the number 41 machine. He knows a freight train is coming. Ron Fascinato sitting in third, the number 69 machine still in the fray. Let's get a quick shot here at Mark McFadden's number 5 machine. McFadden out there racing with one hand again, just had surgery 2 days ago. So well done, the attrition out of Mark McFadden, able to stay in it and salvage some points despite being in recovery. Racers just built differently. 3-truck battle for 5th. Ryan Strunk, Derek Fulton, Wally Babb. Looks like Strunk's gonna careen down pit road. Does he get slowed down in time, as that looks like it was Chad Ross also flinging it in there. So our second green flag stop's underway. Radke, Fascinato, Mullahan down pit road. McKinney stall. Fulton, Babb opt to stay out. Looks like Eric Parks also going to come down pit road. McKinney down pit road. Fulton again going for an overcut. His last pit stop was on lap 33. So he may have something figured out here. Trying something different on fuel mileage. If he stays true to 33 pit stops, I still think it's going to be a bit short on fuel till the end. So it's going to be interesting to see how this call pans out for the Canadian run, the Halloween paint theme. He comes down pit road on lap 65, getting it woed up in time. Jay Dargert also out on track to 57. Let's see if he comes down pit road this time by Derek Fulton down pit road. Jay Dargert also going to accompany him, so that should put Radke back as your race leader. And I think Radke's going to have a pretty healthy lead here. Yes, Jeff Radke, 2.5 seconds up over Ryan Fascinato. Dalton McKinney now in third. Derek Fulton, Ryan Strunk are going to be trying to decide who settles into fourth. Looks like everybody inside the top 5 taking 4 fresh tires underneath them. And for the first time this evening, the top 5 pretty well spread out. Not to say there isn't great racing all across the track. You have a battle for 12th starting to shape up. McCullough making his way around Mark McFadden. And a little bit further ahead, Corey Stahl, Chad Ross linked up nose to tail. McFadden comes down pit road for his second green flag stop of the evening. Corey Stahl still holding on to about a 3/10 advantage over Chad Ross. Let's call it about a quarter of a second as we get a little bit closer to the halfway mark of the evening. Jeff Radke still your race leader. Fascinato second. McKinney rounds out the top three. The field definitely a lot more spread out than they have been. As you see John Mullahan, who was a front runner contender, starting to close the gap to Chad Ross. Both Ross and Mullahan running 8th and 9th on the same tire strategy, as well as Corey Stahl in 7th. But drivers get a little bit faster here. Derek Fulton and Ryan Fascinato just put down their fastest laps of the evening with 33.4s. Derek Fulton may have a freight train joining him shortly. Oh no, Ross, instead of staying single file, says, you know what, Stahl, it's my turn. Moving up into 7th. That's his 7th spot gain so far. Just ahead of them, though, Ryan Strunk, Jeremy Paris having a battle for 4th. Chris Luttrell comes down pit road for a green flag pit stop. Paris holds on to the 4th place spot. That's his 7th position gain, but Ryan Strunk is going to fire back into turn 3 here. Not quite able to get clear. Harrison Strunk still nose to tail a little bit further back. That 3-truck battle for 7th continues with Ross, Stahl, and Mullahan. Separated by about a half second. And the battle starts to heat up. They're still about 1.4 seconds back from Ryan Strunk in 6th. But Ross pulls away slightly as Mullahan and Stahl still side by side. Now we are officially at the halfway mark. We're going to run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. Jeff Radke still leading the race here at Homestead. You watched Dalton McKinney in second. He had a lot of company from Ron Fascinato, but Fascinato backed out slightly, and there's a little bit of lap traffic and contention. That's William Price, the 34 machine, as well as McFadden just ahead as well. Making it a tough spot for these drivers, having to pick those passes carefully. Going a little bit further back, Ryan Strunk, Chad Ross. The battle for sixth. Both drivers on a 4-tire pit stop. Chris Luttrell leaving pit road after 5 minutes of repairs. Must have had something major going on with the double zero machine. There's Chad Ross tracking down the 77, Ryan Strunk. Ross looking for a way around. Traffic coming into play. I think that's the 41 of James Kaufman. Kaufman goes way down low to allow this battle for sixth to carry on unimpeded. And right behind Ross and Strunk, there's John Mullihan, Corey Stahl, Wally Babb. A 3-truck battle for eighth. Now they're about 7/10 in closing from that battle to sixth, so if these guys can just kind of keep it together, they're going to rapidly catch up as Chad Ross finally makes the move on Strunk. But doesn't get clear as they are still side by side ahead. From about 6th place back, things are going to get a little bit exciting a little bit quickly here. Ross and Strunk still side by side down the back stretch. Mullihan leading a field of Hornets there. You can see Stahl and Babb trying to close the gap as well. Everybody behind Strunk and Ross trying to get single file, see if they can catch up as they are still side by side crossing the start-finish line. Here we go, Mullihan joining the fray. Stahl and Babb, so about a half second behind these three. Strunk will not settle for 7th place. Back to the inside line against Ross. Mullihan takes a peek to the inside line. Are we going to go 3 wide? Very close. Oh, looked like a little bit of a hop and a skip there out of Strunk's 77 machine. Those two drivers, Mullihan and Strunk, weren't even close. I can't imagine that was net code, or maybe Strunk had some sort of traction issue, the back end stepping out. But Ross will hold on to 6th. Mullihan settles into 7th. Strunk has fallen back slightly, and he's got his hands full with Stahl and Babb. Jeremy Paris down pit road for another green flag pit stop. The first driver around lap 86 to come down for fuel, getting a little bit off strategy for the rest of the field. Not expecting the fuel window to close for these guys until around lap 94 if most things stay the same. Like I said, it's one of my favorite parts of calling green flag racing is watching the drivers develop different strategies on the fly. Mohan hold on to fifth, checking back in on Jeff Radke. Race leader, the number 51 Toyota Tundra, 2.9 seconds up over Dalton McKinney. McKinney about a second ahead of Ryland Fascinato's 69 machine. William Price completing his green flag pit stop. 14 drivers in the lead lap as pit stops are underway. And good racing still going on as well as we watch Ross and Stahl. Seems like that sixth place position here is where all the action has been for the opening 90 laps or so. No one really willing to be content sitting in line and clicking off laps. Everybody's got to go, go, go here. We start our 90th lap here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. The top five has been very consistent. Still Radke, McKinney, Fascinato, Fulton, and Mullahan. Two closest drivers out on track are Mullahan and Stahl. Stahl doing everything he can to close that gap with the number 6 machine. Easy to spot Mullahan out on track. The distance number 66 machine of Corey Stahl. He's up 3 spots. Wanting to work a little bit further inside the top 5. We went green thus far, so far this evening. I always say so far. Don't want to hit it with the old commentator's curse. That would definitely be my luck to ruin a good run from some of these drivers. Stahl exploring some alternative lines to see what he can pan out against Mullahan. Still nose to tail. Mullahan guards the inside line, getting set up for turn 3. Oh, could be getting set up for a pit stop as now Jeff Radke comes down pit road, the number 51 machine, your former race leader. Mullahan last time in was on lap 63, Corey Stahl lap 64. That's going to give Dalton McKinney the race lead. The number 46 machine on strategy. Brian Strunk, Kenneth McCullough Jr. also coming down pit road. Stahl comes down pit road. Mullahan stays out. We go on board with race leader Dalton McKinney. That is what a clean track looks like, ladies and gentlemen. No drivers in front of that 46 machine as he enjoys the clean air, waiting for his next pit stop. At the most, I think he could make it to lap 97. We've seen 32, 33 laps, about the most these drivers can squeeze out, but somebody out there, if I had a bet, and I would bet it's Ken McCullough Jr., has been fuel saving from the very beginning here. McCullough, the wily veteran at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. Always trying something spectacular on strategy. Wally Babb, Eddie Hawks down pit road. Chad Ross comes down pit road, as well as Eric Parks, your top 3, McKinney, Fascinato, Fulton, staying out a little while longer. McKinney doesn't look like he's doing too much fuel saving, still very much on the pace here. McKinney holding on to now a 5-second lead as Ryland Fascinato coming down pit road. Derek Fulton now in second, still staying out. That's going to put, I believe, just 3 drivers on the lead lap. McKinney stretching it all the way out for 46 machine. There goes McKinney down pit road. Will Fulton follow suit? Fulton staying out a little while longer. Jordan Darnell's going to join Dalton McKinney on pit road. Fulton, the only driver who has yet to come down for what? I don't think he can make it till the end here. And no, Fulton's going to opt to come down pit road as he gets ready to start his his 98th lap. So if I'm doing my math right up here in the booth, that's going to put a large portion of the field 5 to 10 laps short on fuel. Let's get maybe 3 or 4 laps to 10 laps, but somebody out there is clutching it in now. I'm willing to bet on it to try and make this last run on 1 tank of fuel. Derek Fulton rolls back out on track in the 07 Toyota Tundra. The new top 3, Paris, Radke, and McKinney. Now Paris came down pit road with an undercut on lap 85. Taking what we believe is a 2-tire stop. Jeff Radke in second, also on a 2-tire strategy. Dalton McKinney in third, we believe, is on a 4-tire stop. We've got 15 drivers on the lead lap. All 21 drivers that have entered this main event still out on track, rocking and rolling here. And Jeremy Paris up 10 spots, but it's going to be Ken McCall Jr. in 9th, our hard charger at the moment. He's up 12 positions. Jay Dargan, Jeremy Osborne getting back out on track. Harris clicking off laps. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of Dalton McKinney. And McKinney is closing that gap rather quickly, now down to 1/4 second. Robin Fascinato, he makes a move. Ooh, what's going on here? Against Jeff Radke. Number 15 machine of Jordan Darnell trying to get a lap back from the 3rd place driver. Fascinato way up high, but we've got a battle for the lead going on. Jeremy Paris is getting company from Dalton McKinney. Paris on the high line, McKinney down low now. McKinney does have 11 lap newer tires. And he will quickly take up the race lead and even more quickly put a 0.3 of a second gap on Paris. So Jeremy Paris trying to check out, Dalton McKinney trying to check out against Jeremy Paris. Quickly building a 1.2 second advantage. McKinney came down pit road on lap 96. Keep an eye out though on Derek Fulton back and forth. That 07 Toyota came in on lap 97. If anybody can make it to the end on fuel, he is currently my bet. And the most we've seen out of a pit stop is about, or a fuel run is about 33 laps. Even for the likes of Fulton, that's going to put him 5 laps short. A little bit further back, Jeff Radke, Ryan Strunk. Looks like Radke's starting to fall off the pace here in the 51. And he's going to come down pit road way earlier over the rest of the field. Radke trying something different on strategy. Dalton McKinney continues to stretch that gap up front. And now Jeremy Paris has the likes of Rylan Fascinato and Derek Fulton right behind him. There's Fascinato in the number 69 machine. Right up on that bumper of the 24. Fascinato takes a peek to the inside line. Here comes Derek Fulton as well to join the party. A now 3-truck battle for second. McKinney in a different zip code, now 4.6 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. And Paris is going to lose 2 quick spots to some fast Canadians. Ron Fascinato, Derek Fulton. Moving up into second and third. Ben McCullough Jr. also down pit road. His final planned stop of the evening. 2 Canadians side by side for second. It's Fulton down low. Fascinato up on the high line. The 7 versus the 69. Corey Stahl also coming down pit road for his last stop of the evening, accompanied by Wally Babb in the 99. What is Dalton McKinney going to do here in the 46? We've only got 10 drivers in the lead lap, as it looks like William Price also down pit road. Rylan Fascinato, Jeremy Paris coming down. Now, I would imagine these drivers may be just taking fuel unless they've got some tires left behind the wall. Your top 6 staying out. Now this is a dangerous spot to be in. If there's a late race caution, it can heavily undo so many plans of so many different drivers. Stephen Page fighting to send the lead lap of the number 1 machine as he sees the purple and yellow 46 and McKinney right behind him. Oh, McKinney making quick work of Page in that number 1 machine, making it 7 drivers on the lead lap. There's Wally Babb rolling out of pit road. It's going to be 25 laps left to go. This time by as McKinney gets ready to cross the start-finish line. "25 laps left to go here at Homestead." McKinney having a little bit of battle with traffic. That's Wally Babb's 99 machine. McKinney very wise, though. I think if Babb shows the pace, he's going to let that number 99 machine go rather quickly, knowing that Babb's got fresh tires underneath him. McKinney just has to focus on hitting his fuel and number marks. Chris Luttrell down pit road for his final stop of the evening. The field fairly well and stretched out at this point. But the big question is, what's the plan going to be for fuel? Knowing most drivers are at minimum 5 laps short to make it till the end. I would imagine most of the drivers inside the top 7, top 8 who are still out after their lap anywhere between 92 to 97 pit stops are going to try and run these fuel tank empties to avoid finding themselves down a lap if we do have a late race caution. So far, it's been clean and green this evening. That never takes away the fact that there could be a little bit of shenanigans at the end of this main event, throwing a big wrench in the plans of so many racers. McKinney holding on to it. There's Mark McFadden's number 5 machine behind the purple and yellow 46. McFadden with one good hand, running 19th, exactly where he qualified. But the fact that he's running at all after a very recent surgery is extremely impressive out of the Canadian in the Ford F-150 number 5. 20 laps left to go here at Homestead. McKinney holding on to it, waiting to see when these drivers are going to come down pit road for their final time, as McKinney has not backed out of the pace too much. His last time by a 34.49 compared to his best, a 33.29. Let's see what it updates to as he crosses the start-finish. A 34.35. McKinney a little bit faster that time than his previous. Indicative that he's not really doing much, if at all, fuel saving. And just ahead of your race leader is the battle for 16th, Wally Babb, James Kaufman. Babb moving back up into 16th, Kaufman 17th. Waiting to see out of the corner of our eye if we see Dalton McKinney show back up. He's right behind this battle. There he is, Dalton McKinney, closing the gap through 1 and 2. He's got more traffic on the horizon. McKinney clicking off laps, making it look easy. Still a 4.6 second advantage over Derek Fulton. Rest of the field very spread out. If we go back to Kent McCullough Jr. in 12th, he was our hard charger before Chad Ross made it 10 positions gained in that 4th place spot. Looks like McCullough has company as Jeff Radke, closing the gap behind. James Kaufman down pit road for a final green flag stop. 17 laps left to go. Here comes Radke right behind McCullough. McCullough looks like he only took fuel on his lap 106 pit stop compared to Radke. He took 4 fresh tires underneath them. And now the top 5 is going to change a little bit. Chad Ross coming down pit road for a green flag stop. 16 laps left to go. Ooh, Radke making quick work of the 03 machine. There's John Mullihan in 3rd, having 2 drivers, Radke and McCullough, unlap themselves from his Chevrolet. Chad Ross also down pit road, accompanying Eddie Hawks in the 45. Don Mullihan, that bright green number 6 who's just on camera, he's down pit road for his final stop. What is the plans for Dalton McKinney, your race leader? He's got William Price and James Kaufman just ahead of him there. Parks and Mullihan finishing up those pit stops. McKinney in a precarious spot as they go 3 wide ahead of him. Osborne also coming down pit road for his final stop. It's going to leave 3 drivers on the lead lap with a very unique circumstances. Everybody trying to figure out what the pit strategy is going to be here. McKinney does not want to come down pit road too early and risk finding himself trapped in the stall as if there is a late race caution. Page, the number 1 machine, coming down his final stop. Jeremy Osborne leaves, getting back out onto the hot track after just splashing off on fuel to make it till the end. Both that McKinney got a little bit loose there coming out of turn 2, so the track conditions still developing for these drivers. The battle for 9th rages on. Chad Ross, Sean Mullihan side by side. Ross with a bit of an advantage over that number 6 machine. Ross came down pit road on lap 119, Mullihan lap 120. Mullihan may have taken 2 tires. Ross, we believe, just splashed off on fuel. Drunk sitting in 3rd. He's down pit road for his final green flag stop of the evening. But when is McKinney and Fulton running 1st and 2nd gonna make their way down pit road? McKinney last time in was on lap 96. Fulton was lap 97. So Fulton, who has the best situation going for him, if he can stretch their run out, we've only seen about 33, 34 laps out of a fuel run at most from these drivers. That's going to put Fulton 5 laps short till the end. And he does not look like he's fuel saving much. Both McKinney and Fulton, 34.8 second lap times that last time by, as Mullihan just can't quite shake off Chad Ross. Meanwhile, Jeff Radke worked his way back inside the top 5, passing Jordan Darnell. Darnell, I believe, may be getting set up for a green flag pit stop. As Mullihan and Ross rapidly catching up to Kenneth McCullough Jr. sitting in 7th. Oh, it's about to get busy. Here we go. It's McCullough, Mullihan, Ross, all battling for the top 6 spot. Mullihan works his way around. McCullough, though, up 14 spots in that 03 machine. Trying to make it 15, working the outside line against Mullihan. It's 9 laps left to go. McFadden just ahead. Oh, hold your line, gentlemen. It's about to get squirrely. Ross and McCullough both looking for a wave through here. Ross tucks in behind Mullihan. McCullough falls back ever so slightly. Jordan Darnell is in pit road for his final stop of the evening. McKinney and Fulton, your top 2 drivers, still extending that fuel run as long as they possibly can here. Radke continues his forward momentum as well, now moving up into the 4th place spot. Dalton McKinney, Derek Fulton, your race leaders, both down pit road. Oh, how's this going to shape up? It could be Paris, Radke, Fascinato, your top 3 by the time these green flag stops are done and finished. McKinney just splashing off on fuel. McKinney in and out of his pit stall in 5.9 seconds. Fulton 9.2. So McKinney made up a lot of time on Fulton on pit road. But how's it going to shape up as Jeremy Paris, Derek Fulton, Jeff Radke, Ron Faschnatter ran out the rest of the top 5. Rocking and rolling here. Paris shows as your race leader. He's got a whole lot of traffic to contend with. That's William Price. I just saw Jay Dargert, but not too far behind. You can see Dalton McKinney about 7/10 back. Dargert goes all the way down the apron, hopping out of the way. McKinney has traffic to contend with to try and catch up to that number 24 of Jeremy Paris. Paris holds on the race lead. It's 5 laps left to go here at Homestead. The battle for 4th yet to be decided. John Mullihan firing back at Jeff Radke. Now these two drivers are about 3.2 seconds back from Derek Fulton in 3rd, so it's going to be tough to sneak home a podium if they continue to battle against each other. Now Chad Ross joining the party in the 38. 3 trucks trying to decide who's going to hold on to that 4th place spot, because barring any mistakes, I think Derek Fulton's looking good here to round out the top 3. And speaking of mistakes, Jeff Radke goes all the way up against the wall. The truck gets tight. That's going to allow Mullihan and Ross to take over 4th and 5th. Four to go. Jeremy Paris holding on to the race lead here. Oh, that was a good shot. McKinney got a little bit of a push from behind. From the 41, I believe that's going to be Kaufman. Able to hold on to it. Not sure if that was a friendly bump. Kaufman maybe trying to help the 46 machine close that 2-second gap that Jeremy Paris has built up. And it looks like McKinney very briefly was closing that gap, but already Paris extends it back to 2 seconds advantage in his favor, and then number 24. It's 2 laps left to go here at Homestead. Jeremy Paris holding on the race lead by 2.2 seconds. Dalton McKinney 2nd, Derek Fulton 3rd. John Mullihan, Chad Ross rounding out the top 5. White flag will be out this time by. If Paris can take the white flag the final lap, we will be locked in to run this thing out with no cautions here this evening. White flag is out here at Homestead. Derek Fulton on the last lap trying to squeeze out another position, moving up into 2nd ahead of Dalton McKinney. Wow, how did he get the truck to turn like that? Fulton rocketing forward here. He was 6/10 faster than your race leader Jeremy Paris that last time by, but Paris has done such a good job building up a massive lead. As the number 24 machine makes its way through 3 and 4 for the final time, the checkered flag will fly. Jeremy Paris picking up the win here at Homestead, with Derek Fulton and Dalton McKinney rounding out the top 3. That's Jeremy Paris' first win of the segment. Jeremy Paris burning it down in style. A massive victory in that 24 machine. And a great race and a caution-free event. As we wait to get the top three up here in the victory lane. Corey Stahl lost on track somehow. Looks like drivers starting to make their way up here. And let's get things started with Dalton McKinney, that number 46 machine sitting in third. A great race, a clean race. Dalton, did you expect we were going to go caution-free here this evening?
There's a chance for it with this track. It's pretty racy, pretty wide. This group of guys, for the most part, do a pretty good job of keeping it clean. So I definitely knew it was an option.
Now, were you happy that we went green with the strategy and how we had so many different tire and fuel kind of gambles playing out throughout the evening? Would that caution maybe at the end helped you, hurt you, or kind of leave the cars exactly where they were?
Yeah, if we were gonna get cautions, I was gonna need them early. Once I committed to my strategy, I definitely did not want to see a caution the last, 40, 50 laps because I came in for my last set of tires with about, I don't know, 40, 50 to go. So I was definitely hoping it went green after I put them last set on, but yeah, overall it was a good run. Led a lot of laps, had some fun racing some teammates up front. I'll review this, see what I did wrong with my strategy and try to get better.
Awesome, Dalton. Always well said and always a lot of fun talking to you, my friend. A great finish there in that 46, getting the love from the fans today as well. And before we let you sign off, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen for you?
Yeah, I want to start by, thanking everyone at the distance. Rylan, Jeff, Corey, Wally, um, Jordan was in there, and then Chris wasn't on the team, but he was in our Discord with us. So always like having them in my ear. My parents, my little sister. Today's her birthday actually, so happy birthday to her. And then my buddy Sean, he keeps up, he follows. He's down in Florida working that hurricane cleanup. So I mean, I know he was watching, so appreciate all the support. And thank you for this broadcast. It's always a plus broadcast, and I always enjoy go back and checking it out. It helps us drivers just continue to get better and better.
Awesome, Dalton. Well said, my friend. Hope to have you back up here and looking forward to seeing what you can do in the rest of this Segment 6 championship.
Thank you, man. Take it easy.
You as well, sir. Waiting on Derek Fulton. We're going to give him a couple more seconds to see if we can get that Canadian up here into the waiting room before we have to move forward. We're waiting on the friendly Canadian, that '07 machine, Derek Fulton. We'll give it about one more minute, otherwise we're going to have to move forward here. Everybody set your stopwatch. And the timer starts now for Derek Fulton, who's being called up to the interview room. We had confirmation that he may be having some sort of difficulties. I have an idea. A little sketchy, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to try it. We got confirmation Derek Fulton may have had his issues fixed here. But unfortunately, I believe the timer is up, so we are going to have to skip past Derek Fulton. So we're going to get Jeremy Parrish join us now, the number 24 machine. Jeremy, welcome back to the top spot. The Georgia boys bringing it home strong and a clean race out here this evening.
Yeah, it's always good to see them go green flag. It makes it interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. It seemed like there was about 80 different fuel and tire strategies out there this evening. What led to your decision? You gained 10 spots over the course of the night, clean racing all the way through. What kind of helped you develop that strategy going into here this evening?
Yeah, just two tires, four tires. You had to short tire there, at least two stops, or just no tires. So I tried to shorten up those two tire stops where I didn't have them on there as long.
Now, Jeremy, were you apprehensive that we are going to see a mid to late race caution kind of throw all those strategies out the window, or once we survived the opening laps and went green, you were fairly confident that we were going to be able to run this thing nice and easy?
Yeah, I talked to Larry McReynolds before. He said we're going green all the way.
Well, you can't doubt Larry, and it seemed like he had it going on, my friend. And now, gaining the 10 positions, at what point in this race did you realize, all right, I've got a good chance of winning this thing?
About halfway through that last run, I think I pitted at 108. About halfway through, I was doing the math, and if McKinney put tires on, I think I had a big enough gap, and if he didn't, I was faster than him, so we were good.
Well, we've got an off week next week for Halloween, and then November 7th, we're going to decide the segment championship at Phoenix. What's the plans for that one? I don't think you're in the championship running, but correct me if I'm wrong. And even so, are you still going to be out there, Phoenix, to go try and beat up on some guys?
Absolutely, we're gonna go win that baby.
Awesome. Racers race. Jeremy, always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. The number 24 machine looked great, especially in the top spot of the podium. And you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen for you?
Oh yeah, just guys over at DFR Blue and you for broadcasting these. They're real fun to watch.
Awesome. Thank you as always, Jeremy. Congratulations on the big win, and hope to see you do well at Phoenix, my friend.
All right, thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Jeremy Parrish bringing it home in the top spot. Derek Fulton finishing second, and Dalton McKinney will round out the top three. As always, on behalf of FEG, PC.net, our title sponsor of the NASCAR Oval Series, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on a Monday night, supporting the drivers, supporting the league, and supporting the broadcast. I look forward to having you at the next one, and I'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.